let's talk about, this is what we're making today. This really fun little simple pair of earrings. I love doing teardrop shapes like that, like kind of cascading or dropping down the earring like that. And then we've got those kind of maroon, dark rose color rondelles down there at the bottom. So the tool-wise, we're using flush cutter, round nose plier, chain nose plier, and then we're using our 6-step bail shaping plier to make our ear wire. Wire, we're using 24 gauge for the bulk of the earring, and then we're gonna make our ear wire with our 20 gauge wire. So not a ton of materials. This is gonna be pretty simple. If you're a beginner, if you're just learning how to make jewelry, this is gonna be a great demo for you. So listen up and take notes, or you can go back and rewatch it if you need to. So the first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna cut ourselves a couple inches of our 24 gauge wire. We don't need a ton. Just like 5 or 6 inches of our wire, and then we're gonna start stringing our beads. So I did 7 of the rondelles down at the bottom, and I did a little silver bead in between each one. You don't have to do the silver bead. I just thought it added a little something extra, just a little pop of metallic down there. And then I did them between the bicones. I just feel like sometimes you need a little bit of separation between things, especially with crystals. I don't know why with crystals in particular, I always like to mix something else in with them, like something metallic-y. So that's why I did these little guys down here at the bottom. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 2 more. And then we'll do our bicones. You don't necessarily have to string it in this way, but this is, I always like, when I'm doing like a teardrop or a round earring, I always start with the middle first and then come up around the sides. For whatever reason, it's easier for me to make sure I'm doing things symmetrically. Is that 7? Yep, that's 7. Okay, so now we've got 1, 2, 3, 4 of our teardrops going up each side. So you're gonna need a total of 8. Look at how shimmery and shiny those are. Look at that. Oh my gosh, I love these. Those are fantastic. They don't even have the AB coating on them. They're just, that's what that facet does. Talk about eye-catching. If you've got a booth or something like that, you have got to get something out on display with these, because this is gonna catch people's attention and it's gonna draw them in, and they're gonna be like, what else do you have? Oh my goodness. They're fantastic. Okay, let's keep going. I knocked some of these off. Okay, so we're gonna do 4, and we are gonna do the fat side down, the fat end down. Especially, you know, if you add a little pop of metallic in there, this makes them even more eye-catching, because you know, metallic shines and gets people's attention for sure. And then make sure you're ending with a metallic bead up there at the top, or something little up here at your last one. Make sure you're kind of capping it off with a little bead up there. Then we're gonna flip it around, do the same thing on the other side. I love these teardrops. They're not your typical average teardrop. They're kind of edgy. I don't know, they've got more facets to them. They don't have like the round bottom. They have more of a bicone bottom, which I love. Anything kind of different, you guys know, is my thing. And then one more to cap this off up here at the top. Okay, now we are ready to make this into an earring. So we are going to pull these two wires together up here at the top. Just crisscross them. So I pull one straight and then I take the other one. Hold on, I've let go. And we're gonna come around. Don't worry about the shape of this right now, we can fix that later. So we're gonna come around that longer wire with this other end like this. Just coil that off and that's gonna help. We're just basically going to secure that end of the wire so that it doesn't come loose. And then we're gonna trim that off. And now we are ready to make a loop up top. And we'll fix the shape of our teardrop in a minute. Okay, so we're gonna grab our round nose pliers and we're gonna grab right above that coil that we made. We're gonna make a loop. Like that. And then grab a hold of your loop with your chain nose pliers and we will just finish off this loop with another little coil. We can trim that tail off with our flush cutters. Gotta have a good pair of flush cutters, y'all, especially for things like this where you're getting up close so you don't snip something else. I've done that many, many times on here. So we've got our loop up there at the top. And now we can kind of reshape our earring a little bit. Ta-da! Okay, let's make our ear wire. So I did a little like pizzazz on my ear wire. I put a rondelle on the ear wire, which is something I love to do. It's just another way to like make your earrings stand out from the masses. You know, a lot of people just use like a manufactured ear wire and it looks like all the rest. In a way to differentiate, like you got to find little ways to differentiate your stuff. And one way you can do that is by hand making an interesting ear wire. And so that's what we are going to do with this pair of earrings. So I've got my 20 gauge wire. I just cut myself a couple inches of wire. You don't need very much. Then we are going to grab our 6-step bail shaping plier, and the first loop we're going to make is with the smallest step on this plier. So you're going to go right at the very end, the very tip of the wire. It's not poking out at all. Grab that and make a loop like that. And I like to just kind of make sure my loop is centered kind of on my wire a little bit. And now we're going to drop our rondelle down on there. Then we are going to, this is the only part that trips me up sometimes, that I have a hard time holding on to my, so if you grab your loop with your chain nose plier, it's a lot easier to do this part. And then make sure your rondelle is pushed down close next to your loop and bend your wire to a 90-degree angle. So you're like this. Then we're gonna go back in with our 6-step bail shaping plier and we're gonna use the largest step on the plier, this one right there. You're gonna grab a hold of your wire right up next to your bicone or your rondelle, and then we're gonna bring this wire up around that step. Like that. Isn't that cute? We'll just trim this off. Make sure you're going in and tapping this with your rawhide mallet on your bench block, just to kind of work harden it a little bit. Perfect. And soften up the end with like some sandpaper or your bead reamer. Now we'll just open that little loop up that we made. We'll drop our earring on. Oh, I know, I missed a step. Okay, so one thing I did with this earring is I had my loop facing out on this ear wire. So turn it and make sure that it's facing out so that your earring will face the right direction. So then we'll open that back up and we'll drop our earring on. Close it back up and we're done. Let's put it on here. See how they measure up. Cute. I'm gonna kind of teardrop that a little bit more. There we go. Look at the sparkle on those bad boys. Aren't they pretty? They're so pretty for fall. I love them for fall. Look at the shine and the shimmer, so sparkly. And you can scale these up or scale them down as much as you want. There are tons of color options. You've got different colors in the rondelles, and you got tons of different colors. I mean, you've got 6 different colors in the teardrops, and then I have tons and tons of rondelles that you can do a whole set of these with different color combinations and really, really kind of level up your booth or your store, your display, wherever you've got your jewelry to show.